have an opportunity to get this right. And I know we'll get it right. And I trust you. I trust every single one of you. You know how to do this. You know Iowa starts it. You know that you correct it.
Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley stirring up a little controversy with those comments during a town hall event last night in New Hampshire. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis wasted no time in calling her remarks an insult to Iowa.
I think it's a slap in the face to Iowans to say that they somehow need to be corrected. It's almost as if like she's acknowledging she's not going to do well here, and so she's blaming the voters. That's unacceptable.
Let's bring in our panel. Cliff Young is Ipsos president of public affairs, and Josh Kroshar, Jewish Insider editor-in-chief of Fox News radio political analyst as well. Nikki Haley then made some clarifying remarks. Watch here.
But if I didn't love Iowa, I wouldn't keep coming to Iowa. But if we're going to have fun, I'm probably going to say something funny in Iowa tomorrow about South Carolina or New Hampshire. It's the way to just kind of not make everything so serious.
Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, Josh, she didn't think it was too funny. She said, I trust Iowans to make their own decisions. No corrections needed. Is this a tempest in a teapot? I mean, it is pretty logical. We know what happens in presidential primaries between Iowa and New Hampshire.
Yeah, look, it was a small flub, but it kind of it kind of overlooks the reality that Nikki Haley is actually doing quite well in Iowa and has a real chance to overtake Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in the state. In fact, that's the big battle for this presidential campaign. I think for her to do well, she needs to beat DeSantis in Iowa, and then she has more favorable turf in the New Hampshire primary where moderates and independents can also participate. But look, that was a mistake. You never want to diss a state that you're aggressively competing in. But the Fox poll that looked at the Iowa caucuses last month, it's a dead heat for second place. DeSantis at 18% and Haley at 16%. So this is a real contest, and that's why you're seeing the punches fly in the final few weeks.
Cliff, how do you see it?
Yeah, I think it's much ado about nothing. I agree. It's the sort of insider baseball noise that voters don't like. They're worried about real things like immigration, the economy, fixing a broken system. I actually think it goes in a negative way to DeSantis. I think it's just one more instance of him being inauthentic. So I just think it's noise, and I agree that it's a dead heat right now.
Josh, President Trump could make history with some of these numbers. If he were to be able to achieve what it looks like in the polls right now. Understand that caucuses are different, the actual polling day is different, but we are looking at a situation where, as you just said, there's a battle for second place, but the battle for first, is that over?
Yeah, look, Donald Trump is the clear favorite. I think the big question is, does he get an outright majority of the vote? He's polling around 50% in the Iowa polling. So he's a dominant frontrunner in Iowa. Nikki Haley has a real chance to come close to Trump in New Hampshire, and I think that's why she made those remarks. She knows she's much stronger in New Hampshire, and that's a state where she can really make her mark. And Trump is probably the weakest of all the states in the country. New Hampshire is one of his weakest states. But look, Iowa, boy, if it would be a real surprise if Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley came even close to Donald Trump in the first caucus state.
Cliff, thinking about New Hampshire, there has been more commentary lately I've seen from Republicans or conservative-leaning media who say that Chris Christie should drop out so that Nikki Haley might have a chance of getting closer to Donald Trump in New Hampshire. What do you hear about that? What's the word on the street?
Yeah, when you look at the data, specifically, if he were to drop out, it doesn't only help Nikki Haley, it would help Trump as well. I don't think his exit would help anyone. I think it would be status quo as we're seeing today. And I agree, like, the numbers are striking at this point in time. Trump is clearly the front runner, independent of the state you look at, and anyone that exits is actually going to help him, at least in part.
Cliff, Josh, thank you. We finish this week as we get ready to go to Iowa and New Hampshire ourselves. I hope probably we'll see you there. Thanks, guys.